सो हेलो गाइस, आज की इस वीडियो में हम पांचवा क्वेश्चन करने जा रहे हैं, दैट इज टॉप के फ्रीक्वेंट एलिमेंट। तो जल्दी से क्वेश्चन को रीड करते हैं एंड लेट्स ट्राई टू सॉल्व इट। And the question says that given an integer array nums and integer k, return the k most frequent element. You may return answer in any order. Okay, इस क्वेश्चन को हम बहुत सारे तरीकों से सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, लाइक यू कैन यूज हीप और you can use quick sort, and there are a lot of approaches so you can follow. In this video we are particularly solve this problem using bucket sort. And if you don't know about bucket sort, if you don't know how it's work, it's totally fine. You don't need to understand. I am just explaining it. It will be easier to understand. Okay, so let's try to solve it. Okay, firstly we have to calculate frequency of every element. Let's calculate its frequency. How we are going to calculate it? Like we can use a map. So the structure of map looks like unordered map. I'm talking about in C++. In Java, I don't know. You can refer some video or some book you want to. So in C++, unordered map, int of int, and let's call it frequency because we have to calculate frequency of element. So I'm just writing for a simplicity. This is not the structure, and this is element. Here I'm going to store elements, and here I'm going to store the frequency of every element. So this is the map, and let's we are given name as a freak. Okay, so as you can see, one occur three times, so we will write it as one occur three times. As you can see, three occurs three times. Sorry, two occurs three times. It will be two, three, and three occurs two times. So three occurs two times. Four occur one. Okay, now we have to return the k most frequent element. As you can see, what is the k most frequent element? This one, these three, that is 3, 3 and 2. And what are the elements of these? Like 1, 2, 3. So the answer for this, it will be 1, 2 and 3. How we are going to calculate it? Let me show you. And we are going to use bucket sort, and this will be like what is the maximum frequency you have. Like in this case, 3 is the maximum frequency. So we will create an vector, we will create an array. So it looks like this is an array of size frequency, maximum frequency. Let's store into some variable called max frequency. Max frequency, let's call it max freq, and it will be 3. So we will create a 3 length of frequency. So it will be, now let me take more space. So this and this. Okay, now let me do indexing. So 0, 1, 2 and 3. What is the indexing represent in this case? Like this is going to represent all the indexes in this. Let's call it a bucket. This is bucket. Okay, so let's, the index of bucket is representing the frequency of frequency. This, all the index are representing the frequency. Like 3 is representing frequency. How? Let me show you. This is going to store a bucket. Let me create a bucket here. Bucket is nothing but it's a vector. Okay, so vector is nothing but it's a 2D array. That's it, nothing else. So let me erase this one. Okay, so this is a bucket, and let me draw the structure of bucket, like how it looks like. It will be vector of vector and integer. Okay, so let me call it bucket. Okay, that's it. And in this bucket, what we are going to store, let me show you. We are going to store that, let's see what this 3 represents. This 3 represents the value that has a frequency 3. And as you can see, the value that has a frequency of 3, what are these values? These values are these two. Like 1 and 2 has the same frequency of 3. So we will put into the frequency of 3, like 1, we will put 1. Let me put it with green color, 1. And what will be the second element? It will be 2. Okay, so this is representing that the element 1 and 2 has a frequency of 3. Okay, now we will go to 2, and it has a frequency 2. 3 has a frequency of 2. That means this shows frequency 2 and 3 has a frequency of 2. This is the element and this is the frequency. Index are going to represent frequency. So let me erase this. Okay. Now 1 4 element 4 has a frequency 1. The frequency 1, this is the frequency, and element 4 has a frequency 1. Okay. Now you understood. Okay. So let me erase and this will be 2. So now as you can see, we will start from here. We will start from the last index here, and we have k equal to 3, so we need to find k most frequent element. So the frequency will be what is the most frequent? It will be start from the last one, so we will start from the here last indexes, and whatever the element present we will just print out, like 1 is printed and 2 is printed. Accordingly we will decreasing the k value as well, like after printing 1 it will become k will become 2, after printing 2 k will become 1, and there is one requirement, so we will move to the next index, it will be 2. So there is 3, so we will print it and the k will become 0. Whenever k becomes 0, so we will return the answer, that is 1 2 3. Okay, it's very simple, I think. Let's just code so that you can understand better. Okay, so let's just store the size of the given array. It will be nums dot size, and we required an unordered map which has int, and let's call it frequency. Okay, so we will go to every element auto, and let's call it nums. So we will calculate freak of num plus plus. Okay, so let me create a max frequency. Okay, so initially max frequency, what is the max frequency? We will have like initially, let's say 0. There is 0 max frequency. Now we will update max frequency with max of max frequency with freak of num. Okay, so now after that we will create a bucket. It will be vector of vector. Mm, mm. Bucket, let's call it buckets, and in that buckets we will store the value. So we will go to uh, every element in the map, so it will be auto it of frequency map, and then we will just push bucket dot push bucket of frequency dot push. That means frequency will be it dot second dot push back it dot first. Okay, after that we will create a vector which is going to store our answer, and we will start from at the last index. So it will be, so we have to create buckets of size max frequency. It will be max frequency plus 1, and we will start from I equal to max frequency. I is greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus, and after that we will go to in bucket, whatever the value presents we will just push into my answer. So it will int int j equal to 0, j is less than buckets of I dot size I plus plus, sorry, j plus plus, and we are going to push. We will firstly decrease the k, and answer dot push back buckets of I and j, and after that we will check if my k becomes 0. That means we will return our answer. If my loop ends, then I'll just return anything, like we will return an empty array. That's also going to work. Let's try to run this and see if it is running. Okay, getting compiler error. Okay, so what is saying bucket? Did you mean bucket? Okay, let's just copy this thing and paste. I think now it should work. Mhm. Okay, slow. Okay, this is accepted. Let me submit this. Okay, this is accepted.